Hey everyone, this is Prathar from CNE. So I'll be teaching you Python for the next 90 minutes and I'll be covering from the basic to the intermediate level. And after completion of this course, if you like what you see, if you enjoyed this course, just subscribe to our channel and share the content with your friends or whoever is interested in programming. Yeah, that's the best gift that you can gift us. So without wasting any more time, let's jump right into the course. Okay, so in this video we are going to learn about data types in Python. What are the kind of data types that we have in Python? So the data types that we have in Python is entirely different from all those data types that we have seen in C and C++ or in Java. Okay, so I'll take reference to an article that I have here. Let's go with data Python. Okay, now this is the article that I'll take reference from, and here you can see this is a nice article written by Rohit Sharma. So we have here the built-in data types that we have in Python. So data types, if you don't know the idea of the data types that we have in Python, data types are used as a container to store data in Python. Okay, so in the program we work with different data time to time, but we need to store them in some container. Okay, so think of data type as a container. So in the built-in types you have binary types, boolean type, set type, mapping type, and then sequence type, and numeric type, and text type. So I know it seems a bit confusing because all these types are not there in Java or C++, but hang on with me for a couple of minutes and I'll just let you get through all these things, so you don't have to worry about anything at all. So I'll just in this section of this video I'll just complete the three major data types that we are going to use the most of the time. We are going to use text data type, we are going to use numeric data type, and then the sequence data type, and the rest of the data type will be taken care of in the later section of the video. Okay, there will be separate sections for all these things because these things deserve some special attention. So we need to understand dictionary, we need to understand set, and then we need to understand boolean also. Boolean is also normal. I'll just show you how to use boolean. So basically from the numeric data types we just wait. Numeric data type, oops, my keyboard is not working, I think. So the numeric data type has been divided into three types. Suppose we have here integer, then we will have something like float, and then we'll have something like a complex data type. Okay, so I'll show you one by one. Suppose I'm storing the age, not the age, suppose x, x is a value of 13, 18. Okay, let's say 18, and now I'm going to print the value of x. That I can do pretty easily, right? If I run this program, you can see here the value of x is 18, and now if I want to print the type of x, I have to write here print and then type and then x. Okay, the type function will let you know what is the type of the variable that you're using. So it is a class of integer, and then for the same thing you can use y equals to suppose 23.45, and then if you copy the same block of code and paste it over here, suppose you paste it over here and then you change all these things, so it will show you that you are using a floating point. So whenever you need precision, you can use the floating point. There is no subcategory like double or you can say long. There is one only category for a decimal point numbers, which is float. Okay, and now if you want to store something like a complex number, you can say like something 23 plus u8j. Okay, it can be considered as a complex number. I think you all have an idea about the complex number. I haven't used complex number specifically in my program, but I think I'm pretty sure that will be used somewhere. So if I print it like this, it will be printed. And now if you want to print the type of the complex, suppose a variable, you will see here it will not consider j as a what do you say, a variable, but as a constant. So sorry, constant, no, it's a part of the complex number. Okay, if I type if I run this program, you can see here the subcategory is complex. So in the numeric data type we have three subcategories, which is integer, then the floating point, and then we have the complex number. Okay, so it's pretty easy to understand all these things. I don't think there is a problem. One thing more, you can also see the address of the variable. Okay, you just have to use the function id, and then if you mention the name of the variable, it will just show you the address on which the variable has been stored. Okay, so in C it is pretty complex, but in Python it is very easy. You can see the address just like that. Okay, so you can see here, this is the address. Okay, we'll take that into account because we have to use address at some point of time, right? In order to understand mutability better, which will come in the string section, we'll understand how to use addresses. Okay, so this is pretty neat. And now if I want to know about the other data type, suppose in text data type we just have one single subcategory. Subcategory is not the word that I should use. So in the single category I have strings, so you can use strings. Okay, so suppose I am writing here gender is equals to, suppose under quotation I write here M, so it will not store as a character, but it will rather store it as a string. Okay, and now if I want to store something like message is hello, how are you? Okay, it will store this thing as a, what do you say, string. So both of these things will be stored as a string. So if you print both of these things, suppose let me not print the value but the type, so gender, and then suppose type, and then again suppose message, where is it? Okay, message, and then if I run this program, this will show us the type of the variables that we're using. So the both of them are string. There is no such thing like character in Python, so you have to take a note of that. Okay, so we have the numeric, we have covered the numeric as well as the string data type or the text data type that we have. One more thing which is very important is understanding list or the sequence data type that we have. So in sequence data type we have something like just wait, sequence data type, let me write it down. Okay, so we have multiple things. We have lists, we have tuple if I'm not wrong, and we have something like range. Range is not considered to be a data type, rather it can be considered as a function which is used very often when we'll be studying about the loops and the loop concepts or the control statements. We'll be taking range into account and we'll understand how range works. Okay, so let's see. Yes, they have mentioned a range, tuple and list. So tuple, there will be another section dedicated for tuple, so you don't have to worry, there will be another video for tuple. Now we'll be considering lists and how do they work. Let me check if I'm recording. Okay, so I'll be going with this. So list is a collection of data types, collection of grouping of data into a single structure, just like you have arrays. List is there. So I'm going to declare a list here. Declaring a list is very easy. You just have to type the name of the variable, then equals to, then third under inside the third bracket you mention the elements. Suppose in my case I have 1 2 3 then 454, just like this. I have a lot of elements, so there are 4 elements there inside the list. So if I want to print them all, just write name. Okay, or you can iterate through the list, which is pretty convenient. We'll use it while using the loop, but I am now just showing you how a list works. So a list is like this. You will get the elements inside a bracket. If I want to see if it is a list or not, I just have to write here type and then followed by a bracket. Okay, so here you can see it is a list. Yeah, confirmed. So I can also get each and every value. I can also get a hold of the individual value that we have stored in the list. So I would just have to use the indexing. If I use 0, it will print 0. Okay, 0th element. Let's run this and let's show you. Okay, so you can see the 0th element is 123, so it is getting me there. Okay, so if I write here 4, it will just move up to the third index and then just quit it right there. Okay, so let's show you the third index. Okay, sorry, yeah, the third index. Yeah, exactly. So it will 0 1 2 3, up to 3 it will go. Okay, so we don't have any fourth index. So suppose I'm adding up something like this. Let's go with Raman. Okay, it is not a collection of homogeneous element. Let me show you. Yeah, so if I go like this, if I go up to the 4th element, I just have to write here, and then if I execute it, you can see here. So list is not just like array, it can store multiple data types. Okay, so it is more like you can say structure is not the word I should use, but you can see that it can store heterogeneous types of data types in a single structure. Okay, so this is clear. And the indexing, the slicing operator is also clear. I think this is the initial index that will start, and this is the limit up to which it will go. Up to the preceding this limit it will run. Okay, so I think it is pretty clear. So from 0th index it will go to the 4th index. So this is how it runs. We can also tweak around a lot of things. If you want to skip one element in between while traversing through the whole list, we can use 2 as a number, so it will skip the second skip the element in between. So you can see here 123, then 1233, then Raman. So you can see here the second element and the the second element and the fourth element has been eliminated. So you can use the increment or the decrement operator. So this is pretty easy. You can will take account of the slicing operator, and we'll see it in the upcoming videos, and I hope you will not have any problem with that. Okay, so let's move to the next topic. Hey everyone, so now we'll be studying about operators in Python. So let's start. Now I will not be doing any program related to operators because it is pretty basic, and I need to finish this course within 90 minutes break. So we are keeping this course very rapid. So if you want to check out the operators video, I feel that you can find some video of mine explaining about Python operators. Okay, so let's jump straight into it. Okay, so I'll be completing the operators by reading this article, this beautiful article that we have in which is created by WT Schools. So I'll mention the link in the description, you don't have to worry. So these are the Python operators that we have. We have arithmetic operators, we have assignment operators, we have comparison operators, logical, identity, membership operators, bitwise operators. So we have a lot of operators, we have a lot of categories here. So basic arithmetic operators are pretty same. You come across a different programming languages. Suppose you have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and then modulus, and then exponential. Yeah, this one is a bit different. This will raise something like if I show you if I write something like, let me show you. Okay, so let me take a note. Okay, and then show you. So this exponential operator works something like this. If I write something like 2 and then suppose this 3, and then it will give me an output of something like 8. Okay, so 2 raised to the power 3. So this is how it works. I think that's pretty clear. And this floor division works very fine. I can try it out here only. Okay, so this will give the nearest whole number. Okay, so what do you mean by that? It will not give any decimal point value. Okay, suppose let me change the value here. Suppose let me show you by adding a perfectly divisible number. Suppose here it will give 10. It will give 10. So you can see here it is giving 10 here. Okay, but if I change the value, suppose I am giving here 21, so it was supposed to give something like 10.5, sure, but it will not give because there is a double division operator here. So the floor division operator, what it does is that it will give you the nearest operator. Suppose 10.5, it is supposed to give you 10. Okay, so let's do it. Let's wait. Yeah, so it's showing 10. Okay, suppose let's learn with another example. Suppose let's go with 13, so it will give you 6. Okay, so it will ignore the decimal part. Okay, it's easy for you to remind like that. Okay, so it will give you 6, as you can see. So this is how you tweak around with arithmetic operators. Now the floor division is pretty clear. Now the assignment operators are pretty clear to you. It's equal to, plus equals to, minus equals to, what it does. I'll not get into all these things. Okay, it's very easy. Now the comparison operators, you have equal, and then not equal, greater than, less than. You can see here greater than, equals to, less than, equals to. I don't have to cover all these things. Yeah, the logical operators, they are very important. So we have the AND operator, we have the NOT, OR, and the NOT. Okay, just like we have AND, OR, or NOT in C, this is a similar thing. You just write here and you don't write here the %. Okay, instead of writing here this thing, you just write here and. Okay, so this is how you work around with Python. Okay, and it's very user friendly in that way. So you have identity operators, which is. So if you write something like is to, suppose a equals to something like 8, and then if I write a is 8, so it will execute and it will return true. So because a is equals to 8, so this is how we take in account of the is operator is not the same object. So this will run like this, and then we have in, not in. It's pretty basic. We'll use these things in our future sections, so you have to stay tuned. So yeah, and this and then or, it's bitwise operator. It's not logical operator, it's bitwise. There is somewhat difference between them. I have covered it in my C video. If you are new to programming, please watch the C video first, the C playlist first, and then jump into this Python course. Okay, this is a rapid course and I'll go pretty fast. Okay, so I'm done with operators, so see you in the next video. So now we are going to cover control statements. So we're going to cover if and else. We're going to cover nested if else. Then we are also going to cover different kind of loops that we have in Python. Okay, so let's begin with if and else. It's pretty easy, you know it. So suppose I have a variable here which is 10, and I'll write a if statement. Suppose if a is less than 10, just do one thing, just print a is less than 10. Okay, and I'll use the double quotation, and then I'll write here else. You do what? You print something like print not less than 10. Okay, so this is how you write an if and else. We're also going to cover loop and all those things. So you can see here, it's so easy to write if and else. You don't have to give any bracket for the condition. If followed by the condition, then a colon, and then you have to use proper indentation to write this code. Okay, you can't be like this. Okay, you have to use proper indentation. You can use tab for your convenience. Okay, and for an else if, you have to use L if. Okay, and then you have to write here something like print this is the elif block, and let's do one thing. Let's write a condition here. A is equals to 10. Okay, then this is the elif block, and this will execute. So there is no else if, there is elif. Okay, you can see here. Okay, this is how you write an if and else statement. You can also use nested if else. It's pretty easy. I'm not going to get there. Okay, you can use if under an if. Suppose a is less than 10, then it will check if a is less than 5. Suppose I'm taking this hypothetical situation, and then I'll write some code here. Okay, so this is how you write a nested if else. It all depends upon the indentation that you give. Okay, so use the indentation in a correct manner. We don't use brackets in Python, so we rely on indentation. So you have to use the indentation very carefully. Okay, so I think we are done with this if and else thing, and now I'll show you how to use looping. But before loop, you have to understand, I have spoken about this range thing in my previous section of this video. So range is nothing but it is a function that will allow you to create a sequence. Suppose I'm writing here range, and let me write here something, the initializer, and then the limit, and then I'll set how it will go. So 1, I'm selecting 1. I don't have to mention 1 here. This is the increment or the decrement, you can say. Okay, so I'm writing here 1, but you don't have to write here 1. By default, it will take 1 as a value. So if I write here, suppose num is equals to range, and then let's print, let's do one thing, let's print num and see what happens. Okay, control enter. Okay, so you can see here the range of 1 to 10. So if I go like this, for I in num, just do one thing, just print I, but I has no value, so I think let's uh, let's check it out. Okay, so you can see here it is printing the range that we have that we've mentioned in the num variable, which is 0 to 10. So I starts from 0 and it goes up to 9 because 10 is the limit. Okay, so in this way we'll just cut out this thing. We'll not use a variable and we'll use this range function to traverse to the for loop. So this is a bit different. In the previous for loop, you have seen the three components that we had, which is the condition, then the first the initializer, then the condition, and then the increment or the decrement. But in Python we have a different set of things. We can use the range function and we use it very widely to cover this topic. And you can also use something like if I initialize it from 10 and if I go to 0, I'll use the initialize the increment or the decrement to be -1. So let's see what happens. It will reverse this whole value. Yes, so just one thing. Yeah, so it will go up to 1 as 0 is the limit. Okay, if I want to skip one element, I can use here -2, and then you can see here 10 8. This will be the value. Okay, so it's pretty clear how to use a for loop. Okay, so the basic structure of the for is for, and then in you have to use for the variable. Okay, and then you can use the range function. You can also not use the range function. Suppose I'm declaring a list here. Suppose I have names, and then I'm going like Argha, and then let's go with something like Rohit. Oh no, yeah, Rohit, and then something like let's go with Kuntal, and the list is done. Now you know how to make a list, and we'll traverse through this list. So I'll write here for name in names. Okay, I think that will do the job, and then I'll print the value of name. So this will traverse through the list, and this will print out all the names. Okay, you can see here in the output. Okay, so you have here, this is how you write a for loop, and writing a while loop is pretty easy. Suppose you have to write here while followed by the condition that you have. Okay, suppose let's go with while. Okay, let's use something like what do you say, let's write an infinite loop, and then suppose while 1 or while true. You can mention true here, and then suppose I'll write print hello. By the way, true is a boolean value. Okay, so we have boolean data structure. Suppose we can view assign a boolean value like this, status equals to false or true. Okay, this is how you set a boolean value. So while true is an infinite loop, and then I'll print hello. Let's run this code. Okay, and I know it will hang, so I'll stop it right here, and I'll try to let's do one thing. L, yeah, so the screen is clean now. So this is how you use a while loop in Python. While then followed by the condition, then the block of codes that you need to execute. You can also use a nested while if you want to use that. Okay, but there is no do while thing in Python, so you have to be very careful regarding that thing. Okay, so I think the control statements is done. Okay, so I'll see you in the next section. So now we'll be covering lists in Python. So list is a very powerful and data structure you can see in Python, and we can make use of list in a numerous amount of way. Okay, so we're going to go through the list, and we're also going to go through the different methods that list has to offer. Okay, so let's just start. Okay, so let's create a list. Suppose I'm creating a list called data. Suppose numeric data, very generic name. So I'll start with something like random. Oops, something like that. Very random. Okay, 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 and then this. Okay, let me fix the screen first. Okay, so here I have a list of numeric data, and I'll have another called string data, which I'll mention some names. Suppose Z, and then let's go with Rokan. Sorry, and then let's go with something like Sam, and then go with Juliet. So we have one list of numeric data and then another list of suppose string data. List doesn't restrict you from storing heterogeneous data. You can store anything, okay, as per your requirement, okay. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how you can add data to a list. Suppose I have this list, okay, and now I can use the slicing operator or anything that I've explained previously, okay. But whatever about how we can add some data, okay. So we can add data by this append method that we have, okay. And now if we add something like let's go with uh, ran, sorry, okay. And let's print out the list and see if the data has been inserted. Let's hit Ctrl plus enter. I think the data will be inserted if I'm not wrong. So you have it here. So you can see that using the append option I can add data. Similarly, using the remove option I can also remove data, okay. Suppose remove, and then suppose I'm mentioning the data 332, sorry, 3242. Yes, that will work if I'm not wrong, okay. So let's check it. New, there was no error, so I guess it will just work pretty fine. Let's just check it again. So you have it. 3242 is gone. So it's gone, right? It's gone, okay. So here you can append data or remove data as per your choice, but you have to mention the data inside this parenthesis, okay. So this is how you use add or remove. You can also find the length of the list that you have created. Similarly, okay, just like in string, I haven't showed you how to get the length of the string, but it is pretty easy. You just use something like suppose len numeric equals to len, and then I'll just type here numeric data, okay. And then just print out this thing, okay. So let's print out len and just see if it works. So just wait. What is the problem? uh, oh, sorry, numeric. So now it will run. My bad, okay. So here you can see the 4, there is a 4 what is the length of the numeric data list, okay, because I have popped out an element, so it will show you 4. So this is how you can use the length len method. You can also use it for string. Suppose let me show you. If I type out my suppose let's go with something like username, and suppose username is p okay. And now I want to find the username, okay, length of the username. Let's go with this username, okay. Let's format this string. Suppose length of this username is, I don't know why it is showing me suggestions. I should turn off this thing. And then suppose I'm using this 0, and then I have to use format method, okay. Okay, this is used for string formatting. If you haven't if you don't know, there's a chance that you don't know, okay. So it's done, I think. Yeah, it's done. So what is the problem? Format length, yeah, now it's done. What is the problem? Okay, it's not letting me insert anything. Why is that? Yes, now it's done. So let me show you again. So you can see here, are we doing some mistake or what? Dot format, Yeah, it was supposed to be dot format. Exactly. You can see here, we have formatted the string successfully. You can see here the length of the username is 8. We forgot to give the dot, rather we were using comma in place. That is why the error was there. So you can see here how to work along with strings. Now there are loads of data, there are loads of methods that you can use in lists. So if I write here lists in Python over here, and then I'll let you show what are the methods that you have. There are a lot of methods. Okay, uh, going over there, suppose list methods. Okay, so there are a lot of methods. So suppose I want to sort my numeric string. So what I'll do here is I'll go like this, uh, numeric data dot sort. Okay, I'll use this function, and then I'll print my numeric, or let's use a loop. Okay, for numbers in numeric data, just go and print out the numbers. I don't need them. Okay, so if I hit here enter, you'll see here it is sorted, the string is sorted. Okay, there is no problem at all. 11 342, then the larger number. So you can sort that for alphabets also, just like in string data list you have. Okay, so there is a sort method, there are a load of methods. Okay, so there is a pop method. You can specify a position from where you want to remove, unless you want to remove an element from the last, which you can use the remove method. Then you have reverse, then you sort, there's count. Okay, the number of elements that have been repeated. One thing you have to take note of is that list allows you to have duplicate data, but tuple doesn't allow you to have duplicate data. Okay, and that we'll cover in the next video. Okay, we'll have a tuple, sorry, a tuple, a section for tuple. Okay, so you don't have to worry. What I was saying was, for duplicate data you just have to write here something like 11 is there. Let's roll with 342. Let's write 342 again, and let's like write one more thing, 1231. Let's repeat that again, and 1231. Okay, so we have multiple duplicate datas, and if I want to suppose print the let's go with something like numeric data dot count, and then I want to know how many times 11 has been repeated. So I'll hit here, control press enter. So you can see here one time. Okay, so if I show you 1231, it has been repeated, you can see here 3 times. And 342, let's go with 342. So it has been repeated a couple of times. So this is how you play around with lists, and there are a lot of methods which you should practice. Okay, otherwise you are not going to make the most out of it. So this is my section for list, and we'll move on to the next topic. Hey everyone, so now we are going to learn about strings in Python. We are going to see different methods that we have in Python in order to manipulate strings. Okay, so strings are a very integral part of your Python language. So let's get into it. Okay, so I'm writing some strings. Suppose I'm declaring a variable. Suppose hello, have a nice day. Okay, and then I'm leaving it right there. Okay, and then suppose I want another variable named, suppose, Pratyek. So I want to print something like, I want to print the whole thing, okay, together. I want to concatenate these two strings. So I can say like I can say something like, if I want to concatenate it in a proper way, I'll just say like message equals to message, and then plus, and then let's say name. Okay, and then print the new message. Okay, if I run this thing, let's see what happens. Okay, if the concatenation is working, yeah, it's working fine. So this is how you concatenate a string. It means you add up two strings. That's how how easy it is. I can also write like this: first name and then last name equals to, let's go with Guli. And I'll do one thing. I'll just create here another space, and then I'll just write last name. Okay, here I have changed the name variable, so I'll write it first name. So I think that will work. Oops, I missed the plus operator. So that's how you concatenate a string. It's taking some time. It's because my internet speed is slow. Okay, so here you have your output. Okay, so this is how you concatenate a string. You can also try to if you want to find out if you want to use slicing operator in a string, you can also use that. Suppose I want to I don't want to print the whole message. Let's print something like let's start from the 0 character. uh, don't start we don't have to mention it here 0. If we want to start from the very beginning, I'll just write it here, go up to 13 or 12 characters, 12 characters. Okay, and then if I hit enter, let's see. You can see here here you have the full message, and then here you have the partial message. So this is how it is done. Suppose if you write it if you write something like let's go with 22, and let's see. uh, It'll take some time. Okay, so here you have another partial message. So this is how you tweak around using the slicing operator. You can also print out some section of it by taking a gap, something like you can take an alternate character gap. Okay, so if I run this, you'll see here the entire message will get a little bit cryptic. Okay, so this is how you use slicing operator in strings. We can use that in lists as well as in strings as well. So here you can do one thing. You can use various string methods that we have in Python to make use of it. Suppose I want this entire message, I'll get rid of this thing, and I want this entire message to be printed in lowercase. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll use some built-in methods that we have. So I'll type here message dot lower. I think yeah, that's it, and then I'll print it down. Let's not print it. Let's just print this message again. Let's copy it and then paste it and then hit enter. Let's see if it works. Okay, so no, it's not working. I think I need to write here message and then hit enter. Now it will work. I think so. Okay, so here you can see the entire statement has been written in lowercase. Similarly, you can use the uppercase to make the statement in uppercase. Okay, in case you want it. So that's how you tweak around with some built-in methods. There are several built-in methods here present. You can see here capitalize, it will capitalize first character, and then there is center, count, everything is there, guys, everything. Okay, so let's go with count. Let's see what it does. What it does is it shows the repetition of the elements of the word that we have. Okay, so let's go like this. Let's use this method. Suppose I'm using something like statement variable. Okay, and then I'm writing like this, I am Pratyay, and something, another statement, Pratyay loves to code and teach programming to students. So Pratyay believes in free education. Okay, oops. So I think that's it. So what I'll do here is I'll print the number of times statement, number of times I have said Pratyay. So I'll put like this. Okay, and then if I hit enter, you'll see the number of times the pratyay has been used. So it's saying that 3 times you have used pratyay as a language. Now it is case sensitive. If I use here right like this, it will say something like you have used it for 2 times. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. So this is how you take account of this count method. There are several other methods you can see here. In code ends with let's go with something like is numeric. I think there is something like is decimal, is alpha numeric. Okay, is numeric. Let's go with it is numeric to show you another thing. Just wait. Let's go with is numeric thing. Suppose I'm creating here a string. Okay, balance, and then something like this. So you have what you have here is you have here a numeric digit, but it is a string. Okay, so if I want to see if it is numeric or not, I just have to write here string dot is numeric. Okay, I'll just use this thing, and it will return true if it is numeric and false if it is not. Okay, so let's check it. So true, it is numeric. Now if I write here a dollar, okay, will it be numeric or not? So it will not be numeric because the entire string is not numeric. So that's how you do it. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Here you can also check for decimal. I think there is a method for decimal, if I'm not wrong. Yes, there is decimal. Is decimal, so is digit. You can see that there are a lot of methods that you can use. Strip, there is find, there is index. So I'm not going to use each and every method here. It doesn't make any sense at all. So I'm going to use the split method. It is very important. Okay, suppose I have a mail ID named okay, something like pratyay at the rate mail.com. So you separate the username from the whole domain. You use something like user is equals to mail id dot split, and then you mention something like the at the rate thing. Okay, so this will split this thing into into a list. Okay, so the first component will be pratyay, and then the at the rate mail.com. Let's check if that works. So let's keep it a let's give it a name saying component. Okay, and now I want to print the component thing. Okay, there it is. So if I hit enter, I'll have two. You can see this is divided. This has divided the string into two parts. You have a list of pratyay and then the mailid.com. So you can take as per your need. So this is a very important method that we are going to use. Okay. Probably if I make any project video, I'll make use of split. Of course, it is very important. Then there is there are a lot of things that you can take help from. Here is a blog. I'll just mention this link in the description so that you can access it and then you can use it. Okay, so there is center method. There is a lot of methods. I don't think it will do any justice if I try to explain to you each and every method. They are very simple. Just click here over here and then just you can learn about these methods. So basically you have an idea of string, how you can use the slicing operator, and then how you can use the basic methods that are built in. Okay, so we'll move to the next topic. Bye. Hey everyone, so now we are going to learn about tuples in Python. So tuples in Python is just like what we see in lists. So they are pretty much same except for the fact that you can't change the values of tuples once you have created. So I know it is getting a bit messier, but things will get clear. Just hang on with me for a moment. Okay, so let's create a tuple. Creating a tuple is very easy. You just have to write the name of the tuple. Suppose in my case it's data. Okay, and I'll use the first bracket to create the tuple. Let me fix the screen first. Okay, Okay, we're good to go. So inside the tuple I'll take values like 1, then 34, then sorry 45, then 32, then something like 23, okay, and then 45 again. So okay, so my tuple is being created. Now if I want to print the tuple, so I'll just type here tuple and then data. So if I hit Ctrl plus enter, you can see here my table has been created. Now one thing you can see here is that I'm being allowed to keep duplicate values in my tuple. This is because tuple allows you indexing, so you can create or keep duplicate values inside you, unlike in sets. Okay, so that's one thing about tuple. Now one thing to notice is that I have created a tuple. Now if I want to add or suppose change the data, I cannot. Okay, let me show you like this. In this way, suppose I have 1 as an index and I want to change that value to 21. Okay, and I'll keep that in a try block to make things more clear. So except, okay, so it will give me a message like data cannot be changed. Okay, so let's see. If I hit enter, you can see here that data cannot be changed is saying, because we cannot change the data inside a tuple. Okay, now one thing we can do to work around this thing is using a casting operator. We can cast the tuple into a list and then we can change the data. Let me show you this example. Okay, so suppose I have a data tuple and I want to create a new suppose I want to create a list. Okay, so new data is the name of my list and I'll just cast this tuple into list. Okay, so data, the name of my tuple, is being casted to a new list. So in that way, if I want to print the type of new data, it will of course show me list, and I want to print the contents of this new data. So let's see if that works. So you can see here that I have created list and now I can change the value. Okay, now if I want to do this thing, I can change it. I can change it right away. And just one thing, I just have to use here new data, and then what I'll do here is I'll again convert this into suppose into a tuple. So what I'll do here is I'll say here tuple and then new data. I don't think that will work. Let's see. Yeah, it is working. So I was wrong. Actually, I wanted to prove a point, so that's why. And now if I want to print my data, you can see here that the value will change from 45, it will go to 21. Okay, let's show you. So you can see here that my tuple has changed. Now this is a way in which you can change the values of a tuple. Okay, so now we'll be studying about sets in general. So sets in Python are just like list that we had discussed earlier. So the main difference is that in set you cannot store duplicate values, as indexing is not supported. I know it might sound a bit confusing, but hang on there with me and I'll explain you bit by bit. So let me declare a set here. Suppose I have a set of cars, and set is declared using the second bracket. So I have one die, and then suppose I have Tata, I have then suppose Maruti. Okay, so these all I have. And now if I want to show you my type, okay, let's just show the type of data this cars is showing, and just a second, let me write down the entire code here. Okay, and if I hit Ctrl plus enter, here you can see it will show me my set, and then it will show the type of data I'm storing. So this is a set, this is a proper set data. And now I'll show you one thing. You cannot store duplicate data. Okay, suppose I want to add another value. So cards dot add, we can use the add function to add value. Suppose I'm again adding Tata. So you can see that let me show you this thing. Copy, and let's print something like set is updated. Okay, so let's hit Control plus Enter, and oh sorry, I should be mentioning the cards here only. Okay, so if I hit Control plus Enter, here you can see my set is updated, but you can see here there is no extra data element present. Okay, so this is one thing that you have to take into account. You cannot add duplicate data because there is no support for indexing. If I click here 1, there will be no value, or it will show some error. Let's see. I will throw an error. Okay, it is throwing an error because indexing is not supported. Okay, so set stores data in a different way. Okay, we're not going into the deeply into sets because we have a lot of things to cover. So this is how you add. You can also remove data. Suppose cards dot I'll call remove, and then see if I can remove something like Hyundai, and let's see if that works. So Hyundai is removed. Let me show you again. You can see here it's pretty easy to add or remove data from set. And another thing, you can also join two sets. Suppose I have here car, and then let me create another set which will show you the model. Suppose I have models like Safari, and then suppose like I have sedans, Senath. Okay, another car name, fancy car name, suppose S Cross. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll add these two things. So I can use a method cards dot update. Okay, and then a model, I can use model, and then if I want to print cards, let's see what happens. Okay, let's just see if that works. Yes, so it's working. You can see here I have both the sets combined together. So you can use the update method. It's pretty easy. Okay, you can delete a set if I'm not wrong. Okay, till let's go with cards, and let's see if that works. Yeah, it's working. And now if I want to print the cards again, it will show me an error because cards is not defined. Let's put it right here. Okay, and let's execute and see. So you can see here this is how you play around with sets in general. I don't think I'm missing anything else. One thing, iteration, do I need to show you the iteration is somewhat similar to what you have seen in what do you say, in lists. So I can see here I can write here for car in cards, and then I can print I can iterate through the set. So it's pretty easy, right? Okay, so car, and that's it. Okay, so here is it. One more thing that you have to take into account, did you notice something? Okay, let me ask this one more time. When I'm printing out the model, what do you see? S-Cross, Sinath, and then Safari. Okay, so pause this video right now, and if you observe anything odd, just let me know in the comment section. Okay, I'll tell you what is it. It is the order of the elements. You know, set offers an unordered pair of list. You can see here pretty clean. The elements are there in unordered pair. Okay, so it doesn't order anything. So because there is no indexing, you don't get to add duplicate values, and then you don't get to mess around with the order. Okay, you can keep the order in a proper way. Okay, there will be always an unordered list. Okay, so this is all about sets I have to say, and next thing will be studying dictionary. So now we'll be covering a dictionary concept. Okay, the dictionary data type that we had in Python. Okay, so dictionary stores data in key value pair. Okay, so if that is not clear to you, if you have worked with JavaScript objects, it's somewhat similar to what you will see in while working with dictionary. Okay, so let's jump into the tutorial. I'll just fix my screen here. Okay, and I'll create a dictionary first of all. Okay, so let me create a dictionary. I'll name it home, and then I'll create a dictionary using the second bracket. Okay, the curly braces as you call it. Okay, just like sets. Okay, but there is a difference. I'll use key value pair. Okay, so one will be my key, and then I'll have the value. Okay, same thing goes here also. Okay, let me make this thing more clear to you. Okay, one will be the key, and then the value will be there, and then I'll have another key, and then I'll have suppose another value. Okay, sounds clean. And suppose in my home variable I'll have something like location as a key, and then I'll have something like type. Okay, and then I'll have something like let's go with okay, go with something like something meaningful. I want something meaningful. Let's go with location type, and then let's go with something like what do you say? Then we can also have city. Okay, so city is there. So location, I'll set it to something like Agartala. Okay, type, I'll write here 3 bhk. 3 bhk is pretty big, flat. And then I'll set the city to, okay, sorry, location and city is kind of same. I'll set the location to Ramnagar. Okay, I have to fix this. Ramnagar. Then I'll set the city to Agartala. Okay, that is clear now. Okay, so I have a home dictionary where I have these things as a value. Now the index of location. Okay, in the index location I'll store the value Ramnagar, and in the index type I'll store the value 3 bhk, and then index city I'll store Agartala. Okay, so I have created this dictionary, and now if I want to print it, print the type, and let you show print, and then type of home. Okay, so let's see. So you can see here, just like a JSON object, we have values over here. So this is how you create a dictionary. Okay, it's pretty easy. Just like if you have idea regarding the JSON thing, it will do no harm. Okay, and then you can print out the, let me do one thing, let me copy this code, and then I'll print out the location. Okay, so I just have to write in the index location, and it will print out the location. Okay, so I'll show you. Here you can see Ramnagar is coming. Similarly, you can mention here type or city. It's up to you. And adding a new attribute, it's not an attribute, but adding a new key is very easy. Okay, you just have to write here home, and then suppose price, and set it to some value, decimal value, suppose 23.79, okay, lakhs. So if I add it right here, and then if I want to show you my home variable, okay, I'll do it like this, and print a message like added. Okay, oops, I have made a mistake. My keyboard is not working, guys. That's the problem. Okay, now if I hit run, let's see. So you can see here price attribute has been added. It's not an attribute, but consider this as a key. So this is how you mess around with a dictionary. And then let's do one thing. Let's what you can do, we can try out nested dictionaries, which is very important and crucial too. Okay, it's as I said, it's similar to JSON. You don't have to worry about anything. Like I want to do one thing. I want to create another dictionary. Suppose let's name it model, and then I'll have something like, I have to mention it within the double quotes. I can use indexes like 0 1 2 3. It's up to me. It's completely up to me. And then I'll create here another dictionary. Okay, and I'll say like that model, let me think. I'll go with something like Tata. Okay, and the Tata model will be something like say Safari. I need to fix my keyboard for sure, giving me anxiety issues. Okay, so I have Safari, and then I'll go with the Hyundai, and then I'll set it to something like I-20. Okay, so we're done here, and then I'll select another thing. I'll select another attribute. Suppose I'll go with garage code. Suppose I have two garages, say garage code, and then I'll have similarly a nested loop, nested dictionary within a dictionary. So I'll something set lamp something like home, and I'll something like 1001, and then like office, and then I'll set it to something like 2002, and then I have to give here comma, and then we're good to go. Okay, so here we have a nested loop. It's pretty readable. I don't think I have missed any indentation. So if I want to access the model key, I just have to write here, let's go with car. Okay, so it will give me a like a JSON object. Okay, the nested inside this thing, this will give. Okay, so but I can't print it, right? Yeah, I need to specify the value I want to print out. Suppose I need to specify Tata if I want to print out. Why is it showing me an error? Let me check. Oh, yeah, that's why. That is exactly why it was showing me error. Anyway, if I want to print the model key, I'll get this thing. Okay, and if I want to go inside the model, if I want to print out the Hyundai car, I just have to write here Hyundai. Okay, and it will work. Let me show you. So you can see here the model is being shown. It's I-20. Okay, similarly, if you go in inside the garage code, you can set the home attribute to visit see the garage code of your home. Okay, so that's pretty easy. I think dictionary will not create any trouble. If you are okay with JSON, it's very easy. It's very easy to work with. Okay, you know how to create a dictionary, how to add an attribute. Okay, so another thing I need to show you, I know how to pop out elements. It's very easy. Just write here, suppose I want to pop out the whole entire model key. So I'll just write here car dot pop, and then I have to mention here, I think, let's go like here model. I think that will work, and this will show this will throw an error if this works. Okay, so let's go. So you can see here model is not there because it has been deleted. So this is how you delete attribute. You just delete the key and the value will be automatically deleted. This thing will get deleted. You just have to delete the location, and then Agartala will be deleted. The value will be automatically deleted. So I think it's clear now how to work with dictionaries, and that's it. So now I'll teach you how to create a function, how to call a function, and how to use function as a concept in programming. Okay, so till now you all know what function is. If you are not new to programming, you all know how to use it, how to use function, and how to call a function, how to call by reference, call by value. I have explained all these things in my previous course, so I'll show you directly how to call a function. Now using creating a function is very easy in Python. You just use the def keyword and then the function name. Okay, so in my case I'll use the def keyword and then add numbers. Okay, and then the first bracket, and then I'll use a tab, and then using the proper indentation I'll just write here something like a equals to 1, not a, let's go with a1. Okay, and then a2 equals to suppose 2, and then what I'll do here is I'll return a1 plus a2. Pretty basic program, right? So that's the thing, and then I'll call this function. Okay, so I'll call add numbers function. Okay, now calling the function wouldn't be sufficient. I need to print the value that will be returned. Okay, so I'll go over here and hit Ctrl plus enter. So this will give, sorry. Okay. Major problem. I think I haven't given the semicolon colon, sorry. And then if I hit Control plus Enter, this will execute the program. Okay, and it will return me a value of 3. Okay, so this is how you create a function. Okay, now you can you are calling a function that's also pretty simple. As you can see, you can create multiple functions at a time, and then you can also use a function using parameters. Suppose I'm going like this area. Okay, def area, then I'll go like this length length and breadth. Okay, and then suppose column, and then what I'll do here is I'll say area equals to length. I'm using a basic example, breadth. Okay, and then I'll do one thing, I'll return this area. Okay, and then I'll print it down. Okay, so area, and then I'll pass argument, suppose 12 and 3, so it will return me the my required area. Okay, so it is returning me a value of 36, so it is working pretty fine. And if I want to try out a new thing like the default argument thing, so I can go like this, I can create another thing, default name. Okay, so suppose username, and then I'll write something like username. I'll set this parameter to a default value. Suppose in my case I'll be Pratay, sorry, Pratay, and then I'll go like this, print I don't know, I can use some default message, suppose like user is, and then concatenation, then username, let's make it username get username, so that there is no confusion, because the parameter name and the value that I'm using is almost same, and the method name is almost same. So what I'll do here is I'll call this method and I'll not pass any parameter. Okay, so this will not throw an error. Okay, just see, this will not throw an error. What it'll do is it will take the default parameter. Okay, parameter value, which is Pratay. So if I run, okay, you can see that the user is Pratay, and if I set something, then let's try it out. Let's try with 3 deep, and then call enter, and then okay, you can see that the default parameter is not being activated. So this is how you play around with functions in general. So functions is done, and we'll move to the next topic. So we'll now see how to create your own module and how can you use them. Okay, so now till now you have seen how we have imported different modules and we have called different functions present in that module. So now you will see how to create your own module. So for that you need to go over here and create a new file. Suppose in my case I'll create a file named web.py and click here, and then inside this file I'll write something like let's create something. Okay, let's do one thing, let's create something, or okay, let's create a variable here. Suppose I have a variable, suppose port equals to suppose 8080, and then I have a method or function, you can say. Okay, so create server, and this method will not do anything. Okay, sorry, this method will not do anything. It just print that it will just print that creating a server. Okay, and then I'll do nothing. Okay, I'll not call this method, or I'll do nothing, I'll not print this port variable too. Okay, so I'll go to my main, and then you know why I can easily I can easily import this method by using the import keyword. Import, I'll say web, not web.py, just web. Okay, and while I'll import this method, I'll use web, I can use suppose sw, let's call it sw. So I'll use this object to call the methods or the data variables that I have. Okay, so I'll go like print w.port. Okay, and it will simply print the port number. Okay, let's show you. So you can see here we have the port number. Now if I print here something like w dot, what do you say, let's go with something like the function name. If I want to I'll not print the function name, I'll call it directly. Suppose I have create server, and if I call this function, you can see here this function is called. Okay, so you can see here we can easily work with modules. We can keep it in different we can split our code into different sections and keep it in modules, and then we can import it easily. So this is how you import modules in Python. I hope it's clear, and we'll move to the next topic. So now we'll be studying about the requests module that we have in Python. So it is not a built-in module, but you can download it using the pip command. It's very easy. You can see the documentation, then download it. So request module is very important to handle web requests. Suppose put, get, delete, and post. Okay, they are very useful if you are a web developer and you are using Python as a language. You should be knowing this request module pretty well. Okay, so we are not diving deep into this request module, rather we'll try to give an overview of it. Okay, so quickly I'll try to import the module, which is import requests. Okay, that's it. And then what I'll do here is I'll try to get, let's go over here, request dot, we'll use the get method, and what I'll do is here is I'll mention a URL. Okay, in my case I'll mention a test API. Suppose for GitHub we have https and then api.github, just wait, github.com. I think that is it. Okay, github.com. Let me fix the screen, otherwise it will be a problem. Okay, so I'm telling the request module. So you do one thing, you apply your get request and you fetch this API. Okay, so it will get me the contents of this website, or you can say this API, which will be a JSON object. If you know JavaScript well, it will be a JSON object. Then it can also show me the status code. Suppose we have status code like 200, 400, 404. 400 is a bad request, 200 is a success, and 404 means the page is not found. Okay, so let's see. If I put all these things in a variable, suppose content equals to like this, and then what I'll do here is, okay, I have it. So what I'll do here is I'll try to print the status code. So I'll just print out what is the status code of this page. Okay, whether it is okay or not. Okay, let's see. There is some problem, I think. No, it's okay. So I'll just try to get the status code. If it is a 200, that means everything is fine. Okay, just know that. So it is returning 200. So you can see that the get request is successfully executed. So if I want to get the text of this, which will be a JSON object, I can write here content dot text I can use. Okay, it will print out, just wait, it will print out the contents of this request, the response code, or you can see here it is a JSON object. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try a different thing. What I'll do here is I'll get rid of this thing, this GitHub thing, and I'll go with something like amazon.com. okay, I know. Okay, let's try. Okay, and then I'll remove this thing too, and whatever the content I'll get back as a response, I'll store it inside a file. So I'll go like this. So let's go with file, or you can say Amazon equals to, suppose I'll write open, and then I'll write the file of name of the file. Suppose in my case it will be content. Let's go with content.html. Okay, and I have to put it in a quotation. Oops, I forgot. And then I'll open the file in the write mode so that I can write something inside the file, and I'll set the encoding. Okay, encoding to something like, let's say utf8. Okay, then I'm good to go. So what I'm doing here is I'm opening this content.html file in write mode, and I'm setting the encoding to this thing. Okay, and now what I'll do here is I'll write here amazon.write, and then I'll write down the response code that I'll receive. Okay, not the response code, but the response text or whatever the content it will give me. Let's explain this more better. Okay, let's run this program, and then I'll explain all these things. Okay, so I think it's working. I think we have a file here, and let's try to open this file. Okay, let's try to open this file. Okay, nothing is okay, I haven't closed the file. Okay, that's the problem. Okay, let's see, let's hope for the best. Now something has to be there in the file. So you can see here I have a response, what do you say, a document or an HTML page as a response, okay, from the main server. Okay, now companies like Amazon, they don't give you the actual they have a lot of validation thing going on in the background, so they don't let you access the whole page if your the request has been made from a proper user. Okay, so it can easily detect that the request has been made by a Python program, and it's asking for the get request, so it will not let me access the whole page, but it will send me a response HTML page, so I have it. Okay, and if I try to run this page, suppose let me download this HTML file. Okay, I'll download it, and now if I try to run this page, you can see here I have an so you can see here okay, so you can see here, so something wrong went wrong. Of course it will not let me handle the page, or it will not deliver the contents as a proper you can say response. Okay, so that's how you handle this request module. There are a lot of things that needs to be covered. Okay, there are put request, get request, and post request. You can also fetch, you can, this is called get, is used for fetching data. You can also use post for what do you say, for sending data to that web server. Okay, and a lot of things. So I'm done with this request module, so we'll move to the next thing. Hey, so now we are going to use file handling in Python, and we are going to see how to read from a file, how to write inside a file, and how to append inside a file, just like we have done in C. Okay, so first what I'll do is we can easily manipulate files in Python using the object. Okay, and there are no files here, as you can see, so I'll quickly write it here. Suppose file is equals to open, then I'll write here, just wait, yes, so I'll open a file named, suppose, phone book, and I'll open it in write mode. Let's go with write mode, and okay, so write mode, and then encoding is set to, suppose, utf8. Okay, so I don't think there is any problem. So I'm opening a file in write mode, and the encoding is set to utf8, and then I'm going to write something inside the file. So I'll use the write wait write, okay, and then I'll write something like Ramesh Singh. Okay, and the phone number is, suppose, 123456789. Okay, so this I'll do, and then I'll close the file. So it's very important to close using the close function. Okay, and then I'll print a message here saying that file written. Okay, so let's see if that works. Control enter. Okay, file written, and let's check if the file is there. We have the file, and the content is there. Okay, so what I can do here is I can write multiple lines. Okay, so if I write here dot write, okay, let's use a new line character. Okay, and then just copy this thing. Yeah, copy this thing, and just paste it right here. Okay, and we are going to change the phone number, suppose, yeah, and then we are also going to change the name to Ramesh Rahul. Let's go with Rahul, and then suppose another one, I want another name to be written, so I'll do like this: Control C, Control V, and I'll cut off the new line character, and here I'll type something like 78. Okay, I'll also change the names to something like Kumar. Just wait, Kumar Varun. Okay, so I'll hit Ctrl plus Enter, and the file will be written, and here you will see the three numbers are there. Okay, so it's that easy to write from a file, and now I'll show you how to read from that file. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll again copy this piece of code and paste it right here, but the thing is that I'll just delete these things and open the same file, suppose phone book. I have not mentioned any extension here, but in read mode. Okay, so if the file exists, then only this file will be opened. Okay, otherwise it will throw an error. So I'll open it in read mode, and then I'll ask the file object to suppose do one thing, to read the contents of the file. Okay, the whole contents of the file. So I'll use the read function, and then I'll print the contents. Okay, so I'll go over here and print the contents of the file. It's pretty neat. Now if I run this code, let's see what happens. Okay, so here I have in my console, I have all the contents of the file. Now if I want to read a single line, I can use the read line function. Okay, so if I hit Ctrl plus Enter, it will okay, there is something problem. I think the capital is small l. Let's go small l. I think that was the problem. Yeah, so you can see here only a single line has been written. You can also mention how many bytes you want to write down. Okay, so suppose I want to just print the first byte of the file. Oops, file dot read, and then I'll set here 2, so it will read out the two characters, the first two characters of the file. Okay, let's comment it down. Okay, now Control Enter. Okay, so you can see here the 2 bytes, meaning the two characters of the file will be displayed in the console, as you can see here. So it's pretty easy how to write in a file. Now you can also do one thing, you can also append data inside a file. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll just copy this piece of code again. Let's go with here. Let's get rid of the extra space that we have here, and let's paste it here. Now I'll open the file in append mode. Okay, so what I'll do here is I'll again try to write something inside the file. So I'll write here file dot write. Okay, let's go with my number. Okay, I know it's a fake number, but still 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, suppose like this, and then I'll use the new line character again because I haven't inserted any new line character again. Okay, so I'm good to go now. If I hit Control plus Enter, and now if I see my file, I'll have the new contents. So this is how easy it is to work with files in Python. So the next thing we are going to see is how to use try and except block. Okay, so see you. So now we'll be studying about try and except block in Python. So it is just similar as try and catch block, which you have heard of. Okay, so try and except block is nothing but when you execute a program and suppose you have a runtime error. In order to handle that error, you use try and catch block in suppose C++ or Java, but in Python you use the except block in place of the catch block. Okay, so let's begin. I'll write a simple program here. Suppose what I'll do here is I'll try to print a variable here. Okay, and that's it. Okay, but I haven't defined that variable, or I haven't assigned any value to it. So when I'll try to run this program, it will throw me an error. Okay, a is not defined. So using the try and except block, you can handle this error. Suppose I am writing a try block here, and then let's write, just wait, and then I'll keep the statement in this indentation, and then I'll write here except, and then I'll write here let's go with a print statement which says that variable is not defined. Okay, so in place of throwing this error, the program will print out this statement that the variable is not defined. Now I can do one thing. I can run another block, which is the finally block, which will execute after the try and catch and the except block has been executed. Okay, so in the finally block, we can write something like we want to execute we want to offer some solution to this problem. So I'll write something like a equals to 10. So here I'm assigning this value, and then I'll try to print out the value of a. Let's go over here and just wait, and let's print it here, and now let's see if it works. Okay, so it is working, we don't have any problem. Okay, so this is how you handle errors in Python. You can use the try and except block. I'll try to make it more clear using another example of file handling that will make things more clear. Okay, this is a basic example. So again, I'll write try block, and then I'll write something like an except block. Okay, and then I'll try to open a file. Suppose file equals to open, and then the name of the file, suppose names.txt, txt, and the mode will be in read mode, and then I'll set the encoding to, let's say, UTF-8. Let me fix the screen. Okay, so UTF-8, and then I'll try to open this file and I'll close it too. Okay, so file.close sounds clear, and then I'll run the except block and I'll print something like let's go with, if the file is not there, you printed file does not exist. Okay, so here you can see in my directory I don't have any file at all. Okay, so if I run this program, it is supposed to throw an error because the file is being opened in read mode. So the specialty about read mode is that read mode will throw an error if the file is not there. The type of file or the file that you want to read, okay, if it is not there in the directory, the path that you have mentioned, it will throw an error. So let's see the error that is being thrown. So you can see that it is showing here that the file does not exist. Okay, so here is about the try and except block. Now I'll do one more thing. What I'll do here is I'll raise an error by default. Okay, no, not by default, by force I'll raise an error. Suppose I have a variable, suppose a equals to let's say 12, age equals to 12, and I can raise an error using the raise statement. Okay, so there is a keyword called raise, and I'm writing something like if age is less than 18. Okay, sorry, I'm so used to C++ that I make this mistake. So raise an error. Okay, and what error will you raise? You raise a type error, and you type something like not an adult. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm defining a variable here, and then I'm raising an error if the condition is not satisfied. Okay, so you can see that the condition will satisfy here. You can see that suppose 12 is less than 18. Okay, so it will automatically raise an error. Okay, yeah, it's good to go. Let me run the program. You can see here that error has been raised, not an error. So this is how you raise an error in Python. So I think error handling is pretty well explained, and I don't think you have any problem. If you have any problem, just let me know in the comment section.